none of this. There would not have been a President Obama if we had a media that was fair and honest in any sense of either of those words and did due diligence into their investigation of who Obama was, the people he admired, his affiliations with Bill Ayers and with everything you're talking about. And, of course, now when you bring any of that up, not you but any of us, we're racist because we can't stand a black man in the White House. That's the shield they put around this man from day one.
Well, I mean, they were so enamored with the narrative and so in love with the policies that they were willing to give everything a pass. But, as they discover, and this is true throughout history, somebody whose predisposition is to not follow the rules don't apply to me because my objectives are so lofty. They're going to take the exact same approach to some of the things that the press holds near and dear, like the First Amendment, because that's not going to be any more important to them than the Commerce Clause or the taxing and spending power or anything else. So I think, now with, the surveillance and all the other things, they're discovering that, well, wow, there's really a concern here. And so, you really have to point the finger back at them and say, he is who he's always been. It was your job to inform the American public. This has been your your purpose, really, since the very beginning, and you haven't done it, and now it's coming back to bite you. But the rest of us are all suffering the consequences as well. Absolutely. We're talking to Laura Hollis, professor of business law at University of Notre Dame, also columnist here on the Steve Malzberg Show. We only have a couple of minutes left, and you talk about Ted Cruz being right and Sarah Palin. I made some news on this show with Mark Halpern of Time Magazine, who admitted that, yes, there are death panels in Obamacare. Then he panicked and said, I never said the words, but I did. And he said, yes, so it's the same thing. And there are. And people, when I said people don't have a clue, they really don't. They don't have a clue about the conversation we haven't had in this country that was broached by Obama early on in one sit-down at a town hall about not giving care that's needed for the elderly to survive in their final years or months. And people don't have a clue about that. They don't have a clue about, deductibles. They don't even know what the word means. They're going to find out really quickly. So Cruz is right, Palin's right, and it's a culture shock that's laying in wait for us. People have to go back and read some of the things that were being written about Obama in 2008 and even before the 2012 elections. Mark Levin, I was writing them, all kinds, the Heritage Foundation, because they've all panned out. These are not glitches. These are not exceptions. Now the heating bills are going up. Heritage is writing about that. Well, what did he say X number of years ago? By definition, under my policy, electric rates will soar. Yep. Exactly. It's all there for us to see. You're absolutely right, and he has no problem with gasoline being $7 a gallon, just not too quickly. I got them all. Hey, listen, I'd love to have you back, Laura. Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thank you. Take care. That's Professor Laura Hollis, columnist and professor of business law at the University of Notre Dame. Very interesting. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, Susan Ferrecchio, Chief Congressional Correspondent, Washington Examiner, Steve Malzberg Show. Don't go away.